Can you dig it, sucker?
Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking about the accident actually that went down on Friday Night SmackDown. Big E, Ridge Holland, belly to belly suplex. Big E actually took the brunt of that right there, landing on the top of his head. And after prognosis, Big E has a broken neck, no spinal surgery involved or no spinal damage or anything like that. No surgery is going to be involved, but definitely a setback for Big E. What do you think about what happened with Big E on Friday night?
It was rough to watch. I didn't see it live. Actually, Kevin Bernhardt, our director of reality wrestling, texted me. He's like, "Hey, did you see Big E?" And then I immediately went and saw the clip. I mean, it was a tough one. It definitely reinforces how dangerous this industry can be. This form of entertainment, this sport can be. I was so glad to hear, though, that he didn't have to have any surgery, that nothing was displaced, that his spinal cord was okay, that he had full range of motion in all of his extremities and his fingers and toes and all his digits. That was very thankful. I would like to think, though, that if Big E wasn't as strong as he was with the legs and the traps and the strong neck that he had, it would have been different for other people, you know. And I don't know enough to know, Book, whose fault it was. I don't know if Ridge didn't get him up high enough. I don't know if Big E didn't rotate. I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters is there was a mistake that was made. Thankfully, this was the I guess, without him having no damage, this was the best case scenario, right? I mean, it could have gone so much worse. We've seen some of, and because I'm only saying this because I saw Ridge Holland get a lot of, flack online, even from some other people in the business and things like that.
Yeah.
And to me, you can be the safest guy or girl of all time and still make a mistake, right? We saw Drew McIntyre with Madcap Moss, right? Have a little mistake. I don't know if that was Drew's fault. I don't know if it was Madcap's, but either way, he landed on his neck. Owen Hart and Steve Austin was the first thing that came to my mind back in the day, where Owen just made a little small error, and Steve ended up, with years off of his career due to that. It definitely sucks. And I know you've been involved in a couple things, right? Where you got hit one time from the back. Was it Samoa Joe or something?
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything that he did other than just a normal going to hit you from behind, and you got a stinger, right?
Yeah. My legs totally was gone. I was like, what the hell's going on here? I mean, totally was wondering, but there again, it's not ballet, and I'm sure it wasn't something that he tried to do or anything like that. Safety is something that I always think about and something I always talk about at Reality Wrestling with my guys. I mean, and I'm not going to just sit here and look over or anything like that, because I have to use this kind of situation as a teaching experience as well. So I mean, I know those guys were having a match and whatnot, and we go through stuff like that at Reality Wrestling, and two guys just say first they're going to do that spot. They come to me and say, "Hey, Book, we want to do this," and the first thing I go, okay, why are we doing that? And they're going to give me a reason, why they're doing it, or they're not. They're just going to say, "All right, we're just doing it," and that's the question you got to always ask yourself in that situation: is it something that we need to do? Are we going to get more out of this if we do this, or if we do that? What's going to be the payoff in a situation? So my thing is this: don't put yourself in a situation where stuff like that could happen if you don't need to. I always talk about your levels of how you're going to go out and perform. House show, you're going to perform a certain way. TV, you're going to perform a certain way. Pay-per-view, you're going to perform a certain way. And I just think about those levels as far as going out there working certain ways, because there again, I'm trying to think about my longevity. And Big E definitely, this one move is something that's going to, there again, take years off of his career. Big E always did that dive through the middle of the ropes, and that was another move that I was like, man, I hate that move. If it's something done on pay-per-view, I understand throwing caution to the wind, but just doing it, just to to do it. I don't believe in that. I said this about AEW as well. I said, man, the blood feud match, on a Wednesday night, it's not, it maybe not my cup of tea. But for pay-per-view, and I need to, get people, drawn into my show to watch, the weekly shows as well. I mean, I'm off into that. So as well as, sometimes we do have to throw caution to the wind. Safety issues, may arise just because, we're getting a little bit more animated as far as what we're going out here and doing. So I understand it from every perspective, but man, that protocol, man, safety first in this business. And I think a lot of guys need to start thinking about that, especially these days, watching a lot of these matches on the indie scene where guys are going out there and purposely, putting themselves in position where they can easily go to the hospital.
Yeah, you definitely need to be careful. I mean, again, I know just from sitting around you sometimes at Reality of Wrestling and listening to your ideas of, okay, why do you need that? I could see why that move wasn't necessary to do. And but the other, on the other side of the coin, they can say Ridge or Big E say, oh, we've done this 100 times. It's always easy. It's nice. And then at the end of the day, a mistake was had, whether they should have done the spot or not. It was rough to see, and I'm just glad that he's going to be okay. In my thing with coming back from an injury is come back as fast as you can, but as slow as you must. Last thing you want to do is rush back. Didn't you have an issue where you came back with your knee and it was too soon?
Yeah. I tore my PCL and I got it scoped, and I wouldn't necessarily say I came back too soon. I just didn't rehab properly. I thought I was rehabbing properly, and I just didn't do the job properly, and then came back and hurt it again, and I was out, for there maybe another 6 months. But that time I went through some extensive rehab, to get myself back on track. So yeah, he's definitely going to have to, go through a lot of pain, a lot of sleepless nights, getting himself prepared to, step back in the ring, and then there again, stepping back in the ring, that's going to be a touch and go situation after broken your neck. But we know it can be done. You look at a guy like Kurt Angle, who broke his freaking neck and won a Olympic gold medal. So we know it can be done. Just like you was talking about Big E having so much muscle around the neck and the trapezius and the shoulders, I'm sure that helped him a whole lot as far as not going through what most probably would have gone through in that situation right there. I'm sure his recovery time, just that alone, having that is going to help him a whole lot. So yeah, man, I just want to see Big E back on track, back in action, and hopefully get his piece of the action and champagne wishes and caviar dreams on one day. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously there's this goes without saying, there's never a great time to break your neck. That goes without saying. It does suck that it's so close to WrestleMania, especially with Big E having the run that he had as of late as WWE champion. You kind of want to still go out there on the big show and enjoy kind of the fruits of your labor at WrestleMania. But you know what? You're right. Right now, he's got to think about his rehab. He's got to think about his health.